Welcome to
Leader's Edge,
where
Learning is a never-ending
journey limitless vistas.
Energy, eloquence, and empathy. As Cebu Pacific's HR leader, first on energy, I made sure that I just don't adopt to the energy in the room, but I influence the energy in the room. So that's the first E, energy. The second would be eloquence. And eloquence is not just the ability to speak well, right? But it's really more the ability to express with clarity and conviction the message that you want to put across. For example, why are we doing this change effort? Why do we need to do the right sizing? Why are we doing pay cuts? Why are we doing austerity measures? We need to ensure that people understand. So that's eloquence. And the last would be empathy. I think we wouldn't be able to do all of the things that we did the past 2 years and 5 months if the leaders, if the Cebu Pacific Bancom, the directors in Cebu Pacific, I as an HR leader did not show empathy to people who left the company because we had to do that painful decision, and empathy to the people who stayed and continue to journey with us.
The challenge is how do you take care of your people and your planet at the same time? So the business, the economic activities become sustainable in the future. In other words, do no harm to both planet and people in your pursuit of your financial goals. That's basically what we call triple bottom line. Okay.
I would say that if you know me, if you've been if been a friend or an acquaintance of mine for a long time, I'm someone that has always been interested in Japanese culture, and I think that if I didn't have that kind of familiarity and that kind of immersion in Japanese culture, I probably wouldn't have been able to blend in as much and to adjust as well when I eventually started living in Tokyo. I didn't have trouble actually adjusting to Tokyo. Tokyo felt like home. But it was only because before I got my scholarship, I was going to Tokyo almost every year. And I was somebody who was really interested in Japanese culture. And that made it easier for me to be able to adapt. Because you're right, the culture is very different. There are similarities because we're both Asian cultures. But when I was there, I realized how different the Filipino culture was to the Japanese culture.
I love that question, and I would like to anchor it first to the general and popular definition of ICF, which is International Coaching Federation. And the federation says coaching is a thought-provoking and truly a creative process that inspires coaches in maximizing both personal and professional potential. So again, that's anchored on ICF. Now, with your question, let me align that definition to my personal point of view. For me, Ms. Dinah, coaching is a life-changing experience. Again, life-changing experience of self-rediscovery, and take note, like adventurers, exploration. And how do we do it? Through meaningful conversation, such as this one.
When you launch a podcast, it's a very exciting experience to be able to share your voice to the world, right? But it also requires a lot of planning, identifying who is your ideal listener, because most people miss this. They just think, oh, I'm knowledgeable about this topic, I'll just start a podcast. It doesn't really work that way. There's a lot of preparation that needs to be done before you hit record and start chatting. You really have to identify, why are you starting a podcast? If you want to share your stories, who are you going to speak to? And there's just a lot of things to prepare for before you actually speak on the microphone. And I mentioned PodFade. There are like 2 million podcasts now in the world, but only a fraction are still active. In fact, I think if my memory serves me right, only 20% of all the podcasts right now online are active.
There are collagen in the form of a pill, some a drink that's ready to drink in a liquid form, or powder that you need to mix in with water. So collagen, let me define as well what collagen is. Collagen actually is the most abundant protein in our body. Yeah, so collagen. So what's collagen and why does this matter for all of us? So collagen is the protein in our body and it's 30% of our body. It's not just the thing that we see on our face, it's in our ligaments, it's in our tendons, our muscles. So it's significantly part of our body. And going back to collagen, as we age, collagen diminishes. Our body actually produces collagen on its own, but over time, it may or may not reproduce collagen anymore. That's why people are fond of taking different collagen drinks.
The market during that time is actually at negative 55.
Wow.
And the market recovers. It hits September, negative 50. The market bounced back by December. From negative 50, 55, it bounced back to positive 60, 65.
Oh.
In a couple of months. And that's where I love investing, because our money was able to get the dip, and then it was able to get the highest return in a couple of 4 to 5 months.
There are actually different views about leaders, Dino. Some say that leaders are born. Others say that they aren't born, but they are made. And just like anything else, through hard work. However, recent scientific studies suggest that leadership is 30% genetic and 70% learned, and which I was actually able to validate through my own story.
And my wellness program revolves around wanting to be well for yourself, bring that to your family, to your company, and to your community. By doing that, you will end up with healthy people, and a well nation needs healthy people. And so I told myself that because I have the resources, the training, and the passion, I can be successful in helping build a well nation. And a well nation means healthy people. And so that is where I focused.
Today, leadership is mainly understood as competencies. Now, when I speak of competencies, I speak of things like being able to empower, coaching, and anyone who's been to a leadership seminar or has actually trained leadership knows them. There are also the behavioral competencies, things like integrity, things like humility, things like compassion, all of these. But it's always the same thing. Now, I'm not saying that it's wrong. Companies and organizations still need it. They have to go to that kind of training. But after you've trained it so many times, you begin to start thinking, is there something deeper? Is there something deeper? And that's when the thought of capacity came to mind. The environment is not there anymore. So you have to be able to look further than competencies. I'm not saying competencies are not valid anymore. They are. They still are. They'll always be there, and they have to be trained, if you want to say. But we have to. I want us to look a little further.
It's giving back. And where am I giving back? Is to build a future generation to be the leader. And the leaders will integrity. And that's very key. Okay? Initially, I was very much to women empowerment and corporate empowerment. But I realized women empowerment is very big already. And the thing is more inclusivity and diverse, especially with a son that has newfound sexual orientation. I have become more open, or more, I wouldn't say I was close before, I've been very open about it. I've become more aware, even more aware, and deliberately understanding what is really diversity. It is not just male, female, it is not just race, but it is also. So that I'm very passionate about. And because I'm passionate about the economic growth of the country, hence I chose the Development Forum and the Philippines Youth Business Council.
Wow. So, tell me about the process. When the representative from Guinness got there, what did he have to do? Did he have to physically count every single puzzle? Or was it enough for him to just say, like, maybe look at picture albums? Kailangan talagang Bilangin
Yeah,
niya isa-isa.
it's that.
Oh my
Well,
God.
as you know, Guinness World Record is a really global brand, and everybody knows this. Even when bata ka pa, you know the Guinness, right? It's like the world records at everything. So what they did there is very strict. They're not. You want to do it just because you actually before that, for them to come here, just added information. You have to, as the nag-apply, you have to book their hotels, everything, accommodations,
Oh.
flights, and everything. And
Wow.
and with all that, it's not even there's no guarantee that they're going to award you with the record. So okay, fast forward to answer your question. What they do is they need a witness, an official witness, either an official, government official, or a third party. So you have to provide that, and they have to choose which one. And they have this clicker, and then the witness would have to go with them, and then she's going around, click 1, 2, 3, click, and then again it ended up with 1028, which eventually got us the award.